Hey, what is up, everybody? How you doing? How you living? Hope you're feeling good.
I'm living good. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I'm living good. Great to be here on my day off, my week off. Awesome. So happy to be here.
And you're going to be hearing that
Fuck
kind
yourself.
of excitement for the
All
next
of you.
4 podcasts.
Listening.
He needs to do that on every podcast.
Holy
this week.
shit, the fucking podcast. We can't take a day off or the week off for the podcast.
You sound almost as upset at me as Emmitt Smith did. And I don't know if I'm going to let that interview see the light of day.
That's
I'm
like
not sure.
episode 2 level anger about the podcast.
Yes. I mean, I woke up today literally saying, fuck the podcast. I mean, that's what I woke up saying.
You make them come in for 1 day of work to get rid of 4 days of work.
Yeah,
it's too much.
It's a transactional thing.
I know, because I didn't work that hard, February through fucking
What the fuck have you been doing the last week?
This is
Living
a
life?
what?
No, Tuesday I worked. Wednesday I did NBC and then had to write an article.
Never heard of it.
Okay, so screw yourself.
Were you at the Eagles parade?
I was not.
It was unreal.
It looked unreal.
What did it look like from 30,000 feet where you guys were?
You were just a disaster on this podcast.
What was the parade like from afar?
It was awesome. I thought it had a great look to it. Real sunny day.
I thought people aren't realizing this. Ending it at the art museum was such a good touch.
What?
Because usually it ends in a stadium because you can put a lot of people there and sell a lot of tickets.
Right.
No, I loved ending at the art museum.
Agreed. I think
It
that's
was
the way
so
it should
cool.
be. That's like how they do it in New York when they go through the canyon.
Yeah, where do they go in New York?
They go to the...
It's in the financial district.
Exactly
the
right.
Canyon of Heroes.
Canyon of Heroes. But what's the place they end up at? It's like one of the...
Don't they do it at
Town Hall spot,
City,
whatever.
It's at City Hall, isn't it? Yeah.
Similar to...
Who would have the biggest... would the Knicks have a huge parade? It would be the longest congregation of Timberlands I've ever seen.
The Knicks would.
I don't know. I think the Yankees are
the Yankees
still
and the
biggest
Giants
draw.
are still...
The Yankees are, they're used to it.
They're used to it, certainly.
It looked like nobody went to work in Philadelphia and the surrounding.
I just heard a story that somebody broke their fingers on purpose to get off of work to go to the parade.
Why don't you just take a day off?
Why don't they
Because
just...
my brother, his girlfriend is a nurse.
Right.
And anyone that took a day off, it was punishable by whatever because they know what you're doing.
Right.
You can't.
All I know is it was madness. We had a huge group in downtown Philadelphia and we're watching all of the video to see when do we have to leave.
Right.
Like how long can we stay? People were camped out from 1 in the morning.
So tell me,
I was going to be one of those people.
Craziest shit you saw. I mean, what was like... it looked like everybody acted pretty good.
It was really good. I mean, anytime that someone got loud, I was the kind of person that was like, bro, we just won the Super Bowl. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, good.
Right.
I mean, the Jason Kelce crowd surfing was great. I went to an area where everybody was urinating and it was like 70 people into a river. And I was like, that is a river fueled with the urine of just Super Bowl champions.
Oh, gosh, and that's the problem with our drinking water right now.
Probably
I mean,
is.
we're having
Can't have
issues in our
parades.
country with drinking water.
So
just you know.
Lefkoe was putting out Instagram stories the whole day, which I know you were probably watching, but just in case you
I
weren't.
saw some.
And did you see him holding the trophy at the bar?
I know, but that wasn't a real trophy.
So my friends are a little pissed at me.
right.
So I came into work on Monday morning, and I will not, or whatever day the parade was, the day after the parade, so Thursday morning.
Yeah.
I will not name who the person
It was Cat.
But someone at this office came up to me and said, how did Lefkoe get his hands on the Lombardi Trophy?
So
I was like, are you serious?
So what I've learned. So here's what happened. I go and I parade all morning and all day, and I'm having a great time.
Right.
I go back to my friend Neil's apartment complex, and I fall asleep in his lobby
Neil's
on a chair.
the here.
Same Neil.
Neil, okay,
Same
gotcha.
Neil, the
Right.
one that you say "fuck you."
Hey,
Neil.
fuck you, Neil.
And I fell asleep in the
Yeah.
lobby. His dad took a video of me passed out in the lobby.
I love it. I love it.
I wake up to a phone call from Jake.
Right.
You've met Jake.
Yes.
He was here when Carson Wentz tore his ACL, and he goes, "I have a table. Come now."
What up, Jake?
I wake up in a whatever. I don't go upstairs and get 20 people.
Right.
Because I was still like, okay, I'm going to get into a cab. Halfway through the cab, I was like, oh, shit. All my friends are still back there. I get in the club.
What a selfish
I didn't mean,
fucking asshole
You've
you
never
are.
woken up like that?
I just know. I always think about the people
Where my
that I'm
boys
there.
at?
Where are my boys? Where's my friends? Let me make sure I don't do everybody wrong as I walk out the door to fulfill my life night dream here. I mean, what a dickhead.
All I knew was that it was a table with a bottle.
Right.
So all I knew was alcohol.
Man, there you
When
go,
I
guys. Lefkoe, table and bottle.
He didn't know the
outdoes
Lombardi
friends.
Trophy was there.
I didn't know. And then, so my friend Jake, who's just the master marketer manipulator, just goes up and goes, we got the main guy of Bleacher Report right here. He's like started the whole company. Like he's the CEO of Bleacher Report. And the guy's like, Bleacher you're a part of the house, and he like brings the trophy over.
Wait,
and
but
I
that
thought
wasn't the real trophy? That wasn't the real trophy.
So apparently, as soon as the ceremony's done,
That was a
they
replica.
box the trophy up.
Yeah.
But the city gets like 7
get
replicas,
replicas, right.
certain players get. Apparently, Fletcher Cox was at this bar when I was there.
with his replica.
My
with his
father has a replica.
Yeah.
That decoded. I mean, decayed. Decoded. Decayed.
It decayed?
It decayed. It's ruined. Like decayed. Like there was a disease
like
in the actual metal or
It
something.
says it was made by Tiffany.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
as
so
well.
I
but
had
he
a
needs
few
new
friends
one.
reach out and be like, so how did you end up there? And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm sorry. I didn't think. I just went. I didn't know it was going to be there. I was going to get drunk. Everybody was falling asleep.
That's cool that you got a replica. That's like, it is cool.
It's
because
one of
it's
the
a
few.
real replica.
I
yeah.
was like, whatever, because I didn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
And then I found out later that I should have taken it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, along with taking friendship seriously. I mean,
and not passing
what
out in
a
an apartment
jerk.
complex.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, he's
I love you all.
really sorry.
On to the interviews.
I think the best part about the Philly parade, it's something we'll be talking about for a long time, is Jason Kelce's speech. We're going to break that down in a second, but first, let us hear from Jason Kelce's brother, Travis Kelce, and we talk about why is Travis seemingly so cool, and Jason is kind of just rough around the edges. Here's Travis.
Okay, so there are football players that want to be cool. There are football players that I think are cool, and I think you're the latter. I think you're a cool motherfucker.
Oh my
I do
God.
too.
Yes.
I appreciate it, fellas.
I think you have.
Yeah, what up?
You already
I think what you have is a beautiful combination of you're a good, talented player,
Thank you.
and you're funny, and like I'm looking in your eyes, you can think on your feet. Like sometimes I look at football players, I'm like, this motherfucker has no
Instinctually
idea.
there,
Yeah,
no, clearly.
but also you can dance.
Oh man.
And I'm really proud of you for being a white boy supreme and representing us on that stage.
representing.
We need it.
Yeah, you got rid of them, man. This
right,
is what we
first
gotta ask
question
you.
says.
This is
I
what we
love
gotta
the
ask
show already, by the way.
How are you feeling? Because you got knocked the fuck out. Okay, you got knocked
I
the
took
fuck
Mike
out.
Tyson's right hook to the
Right?
fucking jaw, right?
I mean, that was a temple shot or his jaw.
Oh,
it was
Cyprian.
temple that went through the jaw into the neck, left arm numb, left leg numb.
Okay, and then now I'm not trying to
and
be.
then I try and get up.
I
and
know it's serious. I'm not, but I know I can joke with you because you're
I
cool.
watched it and laughed.
Yes, that's what I mean. So when you're getting up at the time, are you like, I'm okay, or did you go, I'm fucked up, but I'm gonna try to act okay?
Yeah, no, I remember everything, so I don't necessarily know how much of a concussion it was. I think I just got knocked the fuck out. So I remember getting hit, the fumble, me trying to grab the fumble,
Yeah,
my
you
arms
did.
aren't moving.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh God, I gotta get up. I can't lay here because once I lay here, now the trainers come out.
Right.
My mom up in the stands like, what's wrong with
Oh,
my baby?
right,
You know what I mean? All that shit's going on. So I'm like, oh, I gotta get up, can't stay down. I get up and all of a sudden I'm like leaning left because my left leg isn't moving. And thank God Mitchell Schwartz is right there to just
Yeah.
grab me and be like, all right, I'm going to save you from Twitter.
Falling over.
Yeah.
Right.
Social
All right,
media
thanks for
just
being a good
murdering
sport
you.
with that.
No,
Yeah.
I want to know about what happens. So you go to the locker room.
Yeah, you go to the locker room.
So do you
go into
watch the
protocol,
game?
Man.
Yeah. What's protocol?
Protocol is you talk to 2 doctors.
They talk a little like this, and they're asking you questions like, Travis, do you know who you are? Do you know where you are?
Where do you live?
Where do you live? Or
Right.
what's today?
I'm like,
Right.
it's the beginning of fucking January, maybe. I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't know
It's
what day it was.
Saturday.
Yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
know.
Exactly.
So they ask you the questions.
They,
They do
they ask you those questions, then they pull out the magic iPad that has all the serious stuff. Like if you
When you
pass
took the
this,
test in the
you can
summer.
go back in, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna give you 20 words: table, spoon, fork, and you have to remember all of these words. And if you don't remember those words, you're concussed.
Damn, I would be fucked if
Dude,
I was the most normal guy ever.
everybody's screwed. in
Right,
that.
that's what we were yelling with Gronk. Like, what's Gronk's baseline? How do they even figure that out?
And then do you just sit there and watch the game?
No, how about this? So from what they said now after I cleared protocol,
Yeah.
they said I passed on all of the concussion stuff.
Yeah.
But since I had the tingling and the
Oh,
leg,
right.
that I had to get X-rays and MRIs on my neck and
Damn.
everything to make sure there was no structural damage. And I'm sitting here like, the fuck, I could have told you I was good.
Yeah.
Like if that was the reason, like I should have played that second half. Like,
I
there's no
mean-
reason. There's no reason why I should have been in concussion protocol.
Hey, I mean,
if
it's
it's
your
a
brain.
structural question.
It's your. That's what I say. I want to sign a waiver and just say,
I'm down
I
with
know
that.
I might get fucked up, but I'll tell myself when I want to come out of the game.
Football would be way
Cooler
funner to watch.
Yeah, I
for
agree.
Sure.
Yeah.
How proud of you, your bro?
Man, I am not proud of him at all.
I hate that guy.
Until he wins a Super Bowl, he is a loser. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm extremely proud of him, man. I've been fanboy for the past 3 weeks, going to all the Eagles games.
Really?
And, yeah, man. I was out there and wearing the gang green 62 jersey.
That's awesome.
So I get to enjoy. What's the coolest thing about going to see my brother play is seeing all the family react to how he is on the field.
Right.
Because I don't get to see that when they're watching me.
Right.
So living in that moment
That's
with
awesome.
them is the coolest thing ever, man.
It's funny, we've been saying about 2 years ago, they were like, Jason Kelce has lost a step. And Simms would watch film and go, he has fucking Ndamukong Suh 2 gaps down, and he has to run out there.
Chip Kelly was asking him to
It
do
was
like
ridiculous.
unrealistic shit.
And now
at
they're
times.
like, Jason Kelce is the best center in the NFL. It's
Center in the league, man.
they ask him to do so much.
Yeah, and he as a competitor and who he is, he's always asking for more, man.
Yeah.
I promise, he's always asking for that extra. Oh, all right, well let me call the mic and let me change the protections when in the middle of the game.
I mean,
So
he's
let
like
me,
as
let
quick.
me take over.
He's like as quick as you. Like his
Oh
quickness
no,
is
literally his 10-yard start
it's
is faster
quicker,
than
right?
mine.
I bet it is. Like
That
all,
dude's explosive like nobody else.
I
And
mean-
he's probably no heavier than 270, 275.
Wow.
is that it?
And he's out there just mauling dudes,
He
throwing
really-
everybody on the
It's
ground.
unreal.
I don't know how I didn't get that natural human strength. I'm out here, I got to make
well,
a
you're
motherfucker
awesome,
miss.
but still, yeah, it is
Yeah.
amazing what he does.
Me and my brother are a little bit different.
He's one of the only offensive linemen I can watch and enjoy like a skill player.
Yeah, right. You're right
Mm.
because there's on the edge, pulling screens. It's amazing.
Remember that clip from 2 years ago where he outran the wide receiver for
Down the
40
sideline.
yards down the
Yes,
sideline?
I know.
Against the Redskins?
Was that the Redskins
I think
game?
it was.
Yeah.
That film, we looked at it and we're like, holy shit, this guy. I'm a little bit different than my brother. You and your brother are very similar.
Yeah.
You you have the clothing, you have the shoes,
Oh, yeah,
you got the whole thing. And then I look at him and he's like a mountain man.
Yeah, no, we're two sides of the spectrum there. I think he came to Super Bowl weekend in a trash bag or something. That's what that was his bag of choice to throw all of his clothes in. He was like, yeah, I don't know where my suitcase is. I'm just going to throw all these in this bag and throw it over my shoulder.
How does
Typical
that happen?
O-lineman.
He made a very interesting point. I forget what show he was on. He said that he played hockey in high school and I played basketball.
And basketball players are a lot like you, and hockey, you're right.
And,
Hockey players grow beards.
Now, don't get me wrong. I did play hockey growing up, so I still have that skill set in my back pocket if I ever need it.
Yeah.
But he played that in lacrosse, and I played football, basketball, baseball, and it just, I think it molded both of us. But at the same time, we're in the same household, so
Yeah.
we're alike in terms of what we like to laugh at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Things
Right.
like that. So it's a cool dynamic for
Yeah.
sure.
Your boy Patrick Mahomes was sitting back here eating
Patty
lunch.
cakes.
Oh.
Denver game. Me and Simms are watching the film. He goes, Adam, I can't even see the ball on some of these frames. What are we about to witness with this kid?
It's exciting because, I don't want to say there's question about him, but you just don't know
Right.
how he's going to evolve. He could evolve to there is no more 3-step,
Aaron
5-step
Rodgers,
drop.
Brett
Yeah, just
Favre
catch the
shit.
ball and just start bouncing.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
He's that kind of backyard quarterback where he's so instinctually confident in his ability that he just kind of neglects what he's practiced.
The
You know what I
offense
mean?
sometimes. He'll just be
Exactly.
like, yeah, coach, I saw this guy 70 yards down the right sideline. I said, fuck it, I'm going to throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's special.
Exactly.
Then the
Man,
throw to
it's crazy.
Demetrius Harris, too, was
Oh, yeah,
ridiculous.
third down?
Yeah.
What?
Third and 25.
Running backwards?
Right on the money, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's
The dude's impressive, he makes those throws every day in practice. It's not like it was just a one-game
Yeah.
deal. He
The
did
press
it all
clippings
I
preseason.
read your
got-
quotes
yeah.
throughout the year. Yeah, I know. I mean, it sounds like
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It
It's
really
fun
is.
to watch.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I guarantee it'll be fun to play with, man.
I'm hearing a lot of people saying, Travis Kelce, is he the best tight end this week? It's been pretty cool for you.
I've been trying to take that next step and overtake and being the best. Everyone on board with that. And
Yeah.
It's you or Gronk, man. I mean, that to
I-
me, it's one of you two.
I definitely feel the exact same way. I mean, he's finished strong, man. He had a couple one-handed catches, huge game against the Steelers.
He's a little bigger of a guy than you, but he
sure.
can't
He's
do
faster.
shovel passes and
For
shit
sure.
like that like you can either.
Oh,
I think
that shit was
we're
nasty.
very different players.
Right.
But I feel like we can dominate a game in terms of being anywhere on the field.
Right.
So
I have one last question before we do your sales pitch here. How can we get NFL players to be more recognizable, more famous, more, how do we break through the mask?
just take masks off. Let them play without helmets. For sure. That's the main way. I have no idea. I think what needs to happen is NFL players need to feel comfortable getting out from under the helmet. There's a lot of guys that I feel like are just, No, that's not. That's too wide receiver-ish for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's too. That's a little bit too much show
Oh,
for
yeah,
me.
right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So I
No,
think,
you're right.
Is it because they're scared of the coaches? Is it scared they don't want to be seen as a diva?
A lot, yeah. No, without a doubt, I think it's. I don't necessarily know if it's scared of the coaches, but they don't want to have that.
I'm a selfless,
there.
hardworking guy, and I'm gonna
like,
just
I'm gonna go on
keep
this
grinding.
show that has 50 women, and I'm gonna go out here and it's gonna be catching me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, you're crazy.
that
for
could
doing
look
that.
bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it goes the opposite way. But I came out and I had a good season, so we're all
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah.
And you got your lady, right?
Yeah. After.
Yeah. No, fuck
That
that.
whole
No, but your
shebang.
relationship seems great.
Oh, mine now. Yeah,
Yes.
my relationship now is awesome. Yeah. I'm
I'm
very
not
happy
gonna
with who I
lie.
am.
My girlfriend, every time we look at pictures, she goes, "Would you ever think about wearing what Travis is wearing?" And I go, "I don't think I can pull off the turtleneck with the chain." And
It's all just confidence. You just gotta confidence. Dude,
Yeah.
you gotta get out from under the mask, dude.
Yeah, maybe they should start
Get
like
out.
that's the
Under
name
the
of your book.
mask, dude.
Try to get out from under the mask. That's great shit. Okay, so here's what happens. You are pitching Old Spice. We're not going to help you. You are a
Nice.
great pitchman. We are going to rate you 1 through 10
Oh, wow.
on your ability to sell the people Old Spice. I'll give you the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you with Old Spice, the Red Collection. Old Spice is celebrating the 80th year of being the top men's grooming brand there is. The Old Spice Red Collection has this lovely scent of captain. I am a captain on the field as well as off the field, ladies and gentlemen, smelling delightful.
Wow.
wow. I'm 9 in it.
What the
Niner.
heck did I get a 9?
No, you're not gonna get a 10. I don't give 10s.
Did you even have a 10?
I got a
on
10. I gave Emmitt
He
Smith
just
only.
gave a
It
10
was
to
the
Emmitt
one.
Smith because Emmitt Smith yelled at me for 6 minutes
Yes, it was
about being
awesome.
an Eagles fan. Emmitt Smith just took the fans booing Michael Irvin out on me. Like, I'm a little shook right now.
Wow.
He acted like I was standing over. I'm giving a 10 because of this. We've had a bunch of Old Spice here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You brought up the 80-year thing. I
Yeah.
hadn't heard that
Nice.
yet. And you just
You held it up
have
like
it.
you've been in a commercial and shit. You know,
Yeah.
it was very
I'm trying to be
professional.
in a commercial. Old Spice. This is the good stuff.
All right,
you
so
know?
my last question for you is you've done
Bring
the dating
10
show.
Out, dude. I'm doing everything.
What do you want to do? What else do you want to do out with the mask off?
To be honest, the clothing brands. I do want to get into clothing and stitch and sewing and all the
Sure.
fun stuff. I want to get into having my own brand, and on top of that, just exploring the on-camera stuff, man. I want to get into a little bit more scripted stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit less reality.
Yeah.
And to where I can just kind of still be myself, but have some fun in front of the camera. Man.
Right. Because you have the sense of humor and you're definitely quick enough. And I don't think you'd be someone that would want to talk X's and O's all the time.
That is not me. That's what I kind of have in the back pocket. That's
Right.
like, I mean, yeah, everybody does it, so I think I can just transition into
Yeah.
it. But I want to have some
I
fun
have a
doing
show
some other
idea.
things first.
What if Travis Kelce gave NFL players makeovers? Right? Like offensive
started
linemen.
with his brother. Like,
Right.
show one. I'm gonna show my brother how to
Yes.
fuck to dress.
Because
here.
you always talk about how offensive linemen save their money,
Oh.
don't spend it, dress like trash.
Oh, I'm not buying that. That's $4.95. That's
There's no
5 cents
way.
too much.
You line up next to them,
Dude,
and
how
now you're
funny
going to get
is
them
that?
lined up.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
All
We'll
right.
start with Mitchell Schwartz. How about that? He's an
Oh.
offensive lineman and he's Jewish. So he's looking for coupons. You know what I mean?
That's fucking amazing.
That is amazing.
I fucking love that. And as a Jew, I condone that. That was allowed.
I concur.
Yes.
Cleveland Heights is a very ethnic. Like we
Don't
have
worry.
a few Jewish communities.
We get it.
up
Too.
there on the
We're
east
from,
side of
I'm from
Cleveland.
North Jersey. He's from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, half my high school is Jewish. All
Travis
good.
Kelce, you could tell he's taking the mask off for you. You're the man.
Oh my guys, it's fun stuff, man. Always
The
cool,
man.
man.
Yeah, anytime, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so Travis said that Travis played basketball, Jason played hockey.
Right.
And that's definitely clear with the beard.
One guy's a lot more white than the other.
Yes, he is a lot more. But they're both incredible speakers. I texted Travis that night.
Right.
And I said, your brother, holy crap. He goes, yeah, I'm good. He's at another level. And the center never gets as much attention as the tight end does. But that speech was incredible.
Centers are usually like we've always said,
Yes.
the alpha male of the group, even though they're not the strongest or the biggest of the offensive line. Everybody follows them. And the biggest thing is they're the quick-witted, the smartest ones. They'll always have the fire back, whatever it is. And it's also why they're center, because they can sit there at the line of scrimmage and
There's
think
Mike,
on their
yeah.
toes. Oh, we got to change it. What'd you say, quarterback? Okay, great. So he fits them all.
Everything from his costume, which was a Mummers Day Parade costume.
What was it?
You ever hear of the Mummers Day Parade?
Yeah,
It's a big Philadelphia tradition.
I have not.
Yeah, so that's what he was wearing.
And
so
what's
even
Mummers Day have to do with it? Just give me a background there.
Man, I really don't know much.
It's some Philadelphia shit.
It's like a New Year's celebration.
It's like a Mardi Gras, but
it all goes back to like old Nordic Irish traditions, and
Right.
it's like
It's
a
on New
parade.
Year's Day,
Everyone
right?
drinks. It's on New Year's Day.
Gotcha.
So people are like, he's dressed like a leprechaun and a fortune teller combined, and people are like, we have a name for that here. It's a mummer. I thought him saying "hungry dogs run faster" was such a dope line.
Yeah.
And then to go through and pick the weakness of everybody. But the part that got me was Lane Johnson can't lay off the juice,
Yes.
and Brandon Brooks has anxiety. Because those two are the ones where I'd be like, I wouldn't say that
That's
to Brandon
kinda
Brooks.
personal.
Yeah. And I was there, and I was just sitting there going, this is incredible. It was the dopest speech I've ever
it
heard.
was a great speech. Of course, the highlight of it and the outfit. I loved it too. And again, it just shows the personal side. Like, don't think that the players have totally blocked out the public. They hear enough, even when they block it out.
What about your boy Mike Lombardi
Yeah, I was
getting
gonna bring
a
that up.
direct name shout out? Your eyes just got so wide.
I totally forgot about that, but he had a rough year this year. Between
Yes, he
that
did.
and Jared Goff, he got proved
Yes.
kind of wrong in a lot of ways.
Well,
Even
that's-
though I'm still not sitting here thinking Jared Goff's the savior of the world.
No.
But it looks bad from the optics department there.
He compared Doug Peterson to one of the worst coaches in NBA history, and then said they should just get rid of him right now. And then you win the Super Bowl with your coach calling incredible plays.
Incredible.
Incredible. Like, not just we won.
I think
Right.
he did issue an apology to
did.
Doug. Not that changes
No, he
what
did.
he said.
gave a good. He did. He
But
gave
he
a
did.
good apology.
He said he was
Mike's
right.
a man's man. He's gonna.
I
admit
thought it
when
was
he's
more
wrong.
interesting when Kelce said it about Lombardi, and then Peterson fist pumped right afterwards.
Well, yeah, sure. Because of course he hears that, and he knows people that know Mike, and he doesn't like it.
But, man, Lane Johnson can't lay off the juice, and Brandon Brooks has anxiety. Remember
Yeah.
when that was a story?
I know.
Brandon Brooks couldn't play.
I mean, how can you even have anxiety at that size? That's what I want. What's he anxious about? I'd like to know.
Stuart Little.
I mean, what is it? Because he's like amazing.
Stepping
He's
on
one of the best
Legos.
guards in football, right?
Man, it was a really good time. All right, so a lot of stuff changed, though, for the Eagles because it looked like all the coaching jobs were all locked up.
Yep.
And then in comes Josh McDaniels, last second, flipping, going from Indianapolis to New England. Haven't had a chance to break this down yet.
Yep.
His agent, Bob Lamont, left him because he also represents Ballard, Chris Ballard, the GM of the Indianapolis Colts, who he had to get up on a podium and say, actually, it's not, and then ended it with, the rivalry is back on, which is amazing.
Right.
But because of this, now Frank Reich is now the head coach for the Indianapolis Colts.
Good for him.
Good job for him.
It is a great job for him.
Is it a good coach for the Colts?
I do think he is I think Frank Reich, having got to know him a little bit over the last year and a half,
And you talked to him pregame.
and I talked to him a lot during the pregame. I think his personality is made to be a head coach. I really think he's got a great way of being
calm and collected.
cool, calm, and collected, but strong enough to deliver the message and not afraid to maybe say what's unpopular, but to do it in the right way too. Between that,
Maryland guy.
of course, the Maryland guy. The people he's been around coaching-wise, it's been a
Yes.
pretty good group of people, whether it goes back to his playing days or, of course, the last few years, with Doug Peterson. Before that, I'm blanking out on who he was
Wasn't it
with.
with the Chargers?
The Chargers and the Wisenhunt. So he's
Yeah.
got to see that. He's also got to be with Dan Henne in that group when he was with the Carolina Panthers as a player. So that's a little bit of the McDaniels in New England type system.
Right.
He has a great background of a variety of different offensive schemes that I think are going to help him. And then, of course, he can evaluate quarterbacks.
Yes.
And I've had conversations with him about Carson Wentz and how that went down. And it made me feel very comfortable about, he sees things the right way at the quarterback position.
What kind of a comment triggers that?
Well, it just, when we had conversations about other quarterbacks, let's just say
And
that,
you
whether it
said
be
he has a
Carson
similar
Wentz,
eye.
yes, we're on the same thing. We looked at the same thing right away to go, that was very, crap, we got into a conversation about Aaron Rodgers in the pregame of the Super Bowl.
Good.
Yeah.
If someone talks about Aaron Rodgers, you feel confident in them all of a sudden. I will say this. It's crazy. When he was at Maryland, he had a huge comeback upset over Miami.
Right.
When he was at Buffalo, he had the biggest comeback ever over the Oilers. And now he's coaching Andrew Luck, who was the quarterback for the second largest comeback of all time. So if you have a lead against the Colts,
You're in trouble.
You're in
Watch out.
trouble because
Right.
Frank Reich's going to come back. The other side of this, though, the core group of the Patriots, the transition plan is now laid.
Right.
Bob Kraft, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady
Right.
looks to be handing down the reins to Jonathan Kraft, Nick Caserio, Josh McDaniels.
Sure.
The only thing they don't have there is the quarterback.
Right.
So it's owner, coach, and GM quarterback to owner, GM, coach, and then they still need to see the quarterback of the future. I just watched 2 Bills. And it really does remind me of when Belichick was going to leave the Giants and go to Minnesota. Went to Minnesota and then said, I don't actually want to be here.
Right.
I want to be back very early. Not
Right.
Jets Belichick, Vikings Belichick. What do you think transpired? Do you think Bill and Kraft sat him down and said, you're next?
Well, I got a pretty good idea. All right, first I want to start with this. Like the Bob Lamont thing. Can I just start there? That bothers me a little. Bob Lamont, like you said, represented Josh McDaniels, represented Chris Ballard.
And he said, I'm a man of my word, and I have to drop Josh because he wasn't a man of his word.
Right. So what I would like to know first, before Bob Lamont releases huge statements like that, did he tell Jack Del Rio that the Oakland Raiders were negotiating a contract for John Gruden while Jack Del Rio was still the head coach? Because he represents both of those players. I'd like to know that answer before he gives me a quiz on business ethics, okay? The thing about business ethics is, okay, the thing about... Oh, I'm glad I called that guy. I mean, okay, so that bothered me when he said that because
That's a great point.
I don't want to fucking hear agents giving me business ethics when they work so many different angles and they are like the key holders to so many power things along the NFL. That bothered me. Okay, now going to the New England thing.
Yes.
I've showed Josh some text messages that I've gotten. I haven't showed you, and I'm not going to show you because you
Okay.
have a big mouth. But Josh has read through these a little bit.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I have a pretty good idea or knowledge of
Okay.
what went on and what transpired. And
Floor is yours.
well, and I think the big thing is this. First of all, you know, you start with Josh, I believe, from everything I've been told, right? From my friends even in New England, too, who, you know a few things. He was taking the Colts job. He wasn't, like, planning on backstabbing them, okay?
I didn't
So
believe that
everything
at all.
I know from the people up there is he was planning on to do that. He was going to his office to clean out the office. He was going to the Indianapolis Colts. Then, at some point, he was let know how valuable he is to the organization, which New England can make you feel like you're worthless at times.
That's what I'm going to say is
So-
when you have someone like Belichick who probably never gives compliments,
Right.
was it Belichick or Kraft that let him know how good he felt?
I would think it's Belichick. I think that's where we go with it, right? Like Kraft, I'm sure is Kraft. I always felt like was a huge Josh McDaniels fan. Even being there, he always took time to stop at Josh's office to
Yes.
go, hey Josh, and good luck with the game today, and what's
Yeah.
the first play you're going to call, or whatever it is. There was a special relationship there. Now, I would imagine, and this is the part I don't know, but I know these people and I've been around them. I got to think Bill Belichick watched the film of the game on Monday, just like we talked about it. And Tuesday he went, am I really going to let like maybe one of the most valuable people in my organization walk out when I have a year of no fucking defense and my defensive coordinator left and we just had 600 yards of total offense in the Super Bowl and we lost?
He was going to rumored to take Joe Judge, the special teams coach, with him as well to Indy, right?
Sure, well, I know Joe Judge was certainly being considered for a few other things.
So he
yes.
kept multiple coaches by keeping one coach.
Yes. Well, I don't know how it went down with Joe Judge, and we'll see. I know
That's
Joe.
less important than Josh
But
McDaniels.
either way, Joe's another phenomenal special teams coach,
So
one of the
you
best in
think
football.
Bill went, oh, fuck, I got to keep this guy.
Yes.
And then he sat down and gave Josh
and
the
they
love.
said that. Now, did they promise him you're going to be the heir apparent? No, but I'm sure they told him there's a good chance you're going to be very highly considered when I retire, or whatever
I
that
saw
may
something
be.
about Belichick sharing certain
So
information.
that's the next thing we go, right? So that because I've heard people say that. Well, I mean, we've talked about this in the past, and I know we've talked about it in the podcast. One of the things we've said, and it might have been 100 podcasts now, we've done so fucking many of them, but one of the things we've talked about is one of the reasons I always believed people from New England weren't as successful as they expect because you don't know the total compass of what Bill and why Bill's making the decision.
Yeah.
You only know your little area. Like Josh might only go to the offensive guys and he might only know why the decisions are made for the offense. But Bill might have also a final thinking of how that ties into the team, the special teams, the contract situation. And those are things I know Bill doesn't inform everybody on in the facility.
It's fascinating you say this because in the two bills, Belichick says some of the most influential things you ever told me was when you randomly pulled me into your office
Exactly
and
right.
talked about
Why
GM
I made
stuff.
this decision. Or
And he always
right.
said, if you're a coordinator, you don't know about disciplinary or contracts. And so you believe that starting last week, Bill said, I'm ready to be, in essence, your mentor.
I think so, yes. And
Wow.
he was always his mentor to a degree, but I also think, like, the first time around, he's going, I might have to coach against this guy for the next 10
Right.
years. I'm not going to fucking teach him everything.
Right.
Okay? These are competitive assholes, all these coaches.
Same thing with Parcells and Belichick.
Exactly right. I mean,
They did play each other in the playoffs like the next year.
No doubt. I mean, you know that. I mean, Bill, two Bills, whatever, I could still bet you they don't love each other. I don't give a shit how many
You could
times
tell.
they do an ESPN piece, okay? They're competitive with each other. That's just the way it is. It's going to eat at Parcells forever that Belichick
Yes.
outdid him with more chiclets on the table, as he
Yes,
said,
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. So I think within that, yes, now Bill has come to say, you know what? This is my last hurrah. I'm
Right.
coming to the end.
It's okay to admit it.
And
I'm
here
mortal.
I'm going to start teaching you all.
Wow.
Because like I've always told you,
You can't pass that up.
the organization is
can't
always
pass
about
that up.
supplying Bill with information, right? It was just, here's the information for Bill to make the decision. We don't know why he made this decision, but he got information from like 10 different people of us
And he's the
on the
trusted-
staff.
yeah.
And he made the right decision, and
Yeah.
we won again on Sunday, so we'll believe him. And I do think that was, of course, a big part of it. Is Josh proud that he left the Colts? And
I'm
did that?
sure not.
Definitely not. I mean, Josh is a good human being. He's one of the true people I can say
Yeah.
in the NFL that truly, from a human standpoint, is a good person. He has a wife, young kids. I'm sure that played into it a little bit. Yes, he's in a great place. He loves New England. He loves being a part of the Patriots. He loves coaching Tom Brady. They're the same fucking age. They're like buddies, okay? People forget that too. So I think with all that added into the fact that the final piece of the puzzle is this. He only got one more shot. He's got one more shot. If he failed at Colts and went there and failed, he'll never be a head coach again. So he's got to feel right by him to where he thinks, okay,
This is the one.
this is the spot. I'm going to be successful.
Yes.
It's all the way I want. And I think, yes, it was shitty that he had to do it the way he did it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he's got to fucking worry about himself and his own career, and he felt like this was the best place
Because there's
for
a
him.
million other people in the NFL that are worried about themselves.
Yeah,
too.
now is it going to cost him a job maybe in the future where some GM might go, I don't
not
want to
gonna
interview him,
matter
I
if
don't
he's the head
trust
coach
him.
of the Patriots.
It might not matter. I don't think it's really going to matter at the end of the day when people meet Josh and you go, damn, he's smart. Damn, he's a good guy. Damn, he's professional. He's one of those guys you can look in his eyes and you go, there's really no badness in
Yeah.
Josh. He got that look. And then you go, well, fuck, every year his offense is awesome. It's not going to matter. Some point someone's going to go, you know what? I know
Yeah.
this guy and what makes him. And
I have something that's interesting, something I learned, and something I'm wondering about.
Right.
Something that's interesting is I wonder how much information Bill has that he has to share.
Yeah.
I wonder, does he organize it? Can he take it out of his crazy brain and explain it to somebody?
we'll never know.
We'll never know. I'll also say this. You cannot pass up that opportunity. The greatest coach of all time says, I see it in you, and I
Right.
want to make sure that you get it. I understand it sucks for Indianapolis, but this is an opportunity that's better than that opportunity. It
Right.
just is.
Right.
Because let's be real. I'd rather my boss was Bob Kraft than Jim Irsay. I just really would. I trust Bob Kraft a lot more than Jim Irsay. That's the thing that who won. Of all of this, Bob Kraft wins.
Yes.
Because the one thing we can say is, oh, Kirk Cousins was holding Washington hostage. Bill Belichick was holding the Patriots hostage. Whenever he was ready to be done, it was over, and that was going to implode. A lot like LeBron in
Yeah,
Cleveland.
right.
Now, Kraft, the owner of the team, has a legitimate succession plan. And it won't just be an era, hopefully for him.
Right.
It will be something that can be passed along.
Yes.
My follow-up question is this.
Right.
How great must it have been to be Josh McDaniels, to be told you're the one? What is Matt Patricia thinking when he's not the one? We're going to get to that in a second. But first, let's talk to two guys that are an Oscar Award-winning, Tony Award-winning, Emmy Award-winning podcast. They want to be just like us when they get older. It is the ThomaHawk podcast with Joe Thomas and Andrew Hawkins. These guys were a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Andrew talked about his time up in New England, and Joe talked about his supernatural ability to not get injured.
Right.
Because it's a little fucking crazy.
It is.
Here's
It's like
the-
Sixth Sense.
It's insane. Here's the ThomaHawk boys.
We are rolling, which is good.
Yeah, we got to start smoking Black and Milds, man.
On air.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's start with that.
Just
Why are
smoke
you
big
not
blunts.
smoking Black and Milds? We've already started.
I didn't realize how lucrative it could be for our careers.
Right.
Like, had I known that, I would have been smoking Black and Mild since I was 10.
I'm Andrew Hawkins.
We are joined right now, and we're getting lint brushed. It is Joe Thomas, Andrew Hawkins. Name of your podcast is
The ThomaHawk Show.
What's up?
I was.
Did you get it?
Hey, how
Before
do
you say, how did you get that? My last name's Thomas.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mr. Hawkins.
Hawk,
fucking-
yeah. Natural
Before you
progression.
embarrass yourself on national
it's
television.
perfect, you two. It's like it's racial harmony. It's
Yes.
big guy. It's
Yes.
little guy.
Yes.
It goes all. It covers it all.
The timing is amazing. It's we were nominated for an Oscar, so it's
And a Grammy.
things are just getting ridiculous, man.
It's been a busy year. no
Moonlight.
doubt. Yeah.
All these fans just
So Simms
Wow.
always
Yeah.
says he calls me his work wife. And I'm just curious,
Wow.
who's the work wife in your
who's the
relationship?
work wife? Wow, that's a
Oh, that's a
Holy
good one.
smokes.
Yeah, we're gonna-
Never thought of that one before.
Oh,
Well,
man.
Joe would be the biggest fucking wife I've ever seen. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you can actually make him a wife.
But he does all the work.
He
so
does all the
I don't
work.
know if I do any work.
He runs the household. See, when we do our podcast, we have a very good chemistry because he prepares for everything.
Right.
Right. So he's like the notes. He has all the background stories. I show up and just
Just go off of what he
half
says and
drunk.
natural reactions.
Damn. So
I don't
that
even think
means,
Andrew
that
drinks.
means the work wives are on this side of the table.
Yes, that's right. The work wives are over there.
Me and
Oh,
Joe
you
need to
guys
stick
are so
together.
cute. Yeah,
Right in the
we'll stay-
household.
Hey, we'll stay over here. No, yeah, me.
yeah.
No,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
work wives. Men
Yes.
over here.
All right, so
exactly.
what was
Men.
the first time you guys met each other in the locker room? Did you know that this could become a thing? Was the conversation always popping?
Yeah, actually, the first time we met each other in the locker room, I was like, wow, that Andrew Hawkins, for being a new teammate, he's a real dick. He doesn't want to reach out to any of the teammates. He just sits by himself and only talks to Toledo guys.
You know what?
And then he started opening up, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. We can hang out, we can talk. And then it just kind of blossomed from there,
So my philosophy when I go to new teams, first off, I had just gotten a contract,
Right.
right? So I had all this money that I had to prove that I was worth and could get the rest of.
Right.
Kyle Shanahan brought you in, right?
Kyle Shanahan brought me in.
Yep.
And I was just like so about business that I'm like, I don't want to make friends. I don't want anyone to have an opinion of me until I do my job. And I want your only thought to me of what you see on the field. Like Kyle would tell you, I wouldn't even talk to the coaches in meetings.
Right.
They were like scared to yell at me because they didn't know if I was like half crazy or what.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I would never give any reaction. I would just stare.
Right.
New money in the locker room.
New money in
It's
the locker room.
really interesting.
But then after 1 year, I was like, screw it.
But what were your
Slapped
thoughts
it.
of Joe when you got in the locker room? Because Joe
It's
was
probably the
Mr.
same way.
Cleveland already, and he's,
Yeah.
Mr. franchise left tackle.
To be honest, I just didn't want to get in his way. It's like it's like when I went to the Patriots, Tom was there, and like it was like the third day. I'm trying to learn this offense that is like learning
It's a new
biochemistry,
yeah.
right? And they're like, just go in there. I look at the coach like, no. I'm not going in there and effing up Tom Brady's plays.
Right.
Hell no, that's not going to be his perception of
Man.
me. So with Joe, it was the same thing. I was like, let me just stay out of the dude's way. I know he's great.
Yeah.
I want to make sure his only opinion of me is what he sees on the field.
I thought one of the coolest things about you, Joe, is it's very rare that a story about an offensive lineman takes over the news cycle. And it makes sense because your streak was fucking
you
incredible.
wussy. You finally got hurt, you big wuss.
I did feel like a wuss when I just laid there and didn't get up.
What was the total number?
It was 10,363 official snaps.
That is
Why are
just
you emphasizing
unreal.
official?
Well, because in the NFL, if there's a play that had like a holding or anything
Oh.
that they redo the down, it doesn't count as a play.
Right,
We
right.
had
So-
a lot of redos.
So you
there was-
really have more plays than
That's
that.
probably like
you know?
another 1,000 plays in there
Man.
because I had a lot of holdings and those
2,000
type of
2,000
penalties
in
in my
Cleveland.
career. Personal fouls on
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yes.
So what is it like? What people are calling you? What, Cal Ripken right now?
I haven't been called
Wow.
Cal Ripken,
Do you
but just
last
mostly
that long
handsome,
in other things?
handsome, great podcaster, things like that.
Handsome, great podcaster.
That's awesome. No, I'm happy for you guys. Sims, do you have any podcast advice for them?
I
Because
know we're veterans of this right here. I mean,
We're 5
give it
weeks
to
we're
in.
Bleacher Report. Look at our picture on the back
We
of
have-
Lefkoe's
we have our
computer.
faces in
Oh, look at that.
We
We
don't
don't
have
have one of
that.
those.
So
We
you're
don't
not
have that.
official
We don't
until
have
you have a
those. No.
cartoon, okay?
You
Our
Talk
cartoon was done by a fan.
It was done by a fan?
Yeah, so we're still working
our
on getting
theme
the,
music was done
an
by a
animator.
fan. Just keep
Really?
doing. Yes.
Yes.
We're
Fan.
trying to get theme music done by Dwayne Bowe.
Yes, that's going to be our intro.
He's a new hip hop gamer.
Is that right?
He just dropped a new album.
Yep.
Did he really?
Wow.
Yes. EP.
So he hasn't responded to Andrew's text in about 2 weeks.
What
So we're not
happens is-
sure what's going on, but we're hoping he wakes up and calls Andrew back.
So I'll tweet him or text him, and he'll reply 2 months later. So I tweeted him like, "Hey,
Sorry, man, been busy."
I DM'd him, "Yo, me and Joe started this new podcast. It just won 2 Nobel Peace Prizes. We need an intro." He tweets me 3 weeks later, or DMs me, "Yo, text me real quick." Okay, immediately text him. D-Bo, what's up? It's Hawk. That was about 3 weeks ago.
Right. Crickets.
So he'll get around to it eventually, and that's probably going to win a Grammy in itself.
Yeah, right.
Man. Damn, Dwayne Bowe's making music.
Yeah.
I love when we get to learn what you guys are like. Like really like not just your yards per carry could be. No, like really human shit. And then you guys have 2 lives.
Yeah.
Because when the career's over, now it's you're 30-something and you have your entire other life. Simms, you had to go through that.
Yes. I
And
mean,
it's a death.
Well, Joe's still collecting big checks,
Yes.
so he's
Big,
fine.
big money.
I mean, big money.
Ridiculous
Yeah,
money.
this podcast really is paying well so far.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a tough transition. I mean, but you're making it seamless. That's the good thing. I mean, how long were you heartbroken about being out of football? Like, I took a good year where I would be like watching Sunday football.
Yeah.
And I came to tears a few times where I was like, damn, like that scrub's still playing and I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was very unique because you see, it's all about, and I say this about players in the league, and you're wondering like, well, how is this guy good at this time or that time? I feel like if you watch the stretch of somebody's career, for the most part, and I was always very conscious of this, you would know what their like goals were. So there's guys who want to win a Super Bowl ring in basketball or football, and when they get that ring or championship ring, their play tails off.
Yes.
Like there's a different element to them.
Right.
Or some guys want the big payday.
Right.
And when they get that payday, their play kind of tails off. Their
Albert
work,
Hainsworth.
something changed. And then there's guys who want to be great. There's the LeBrons. There's the Tom Brady's who you don't. There's no stop. 5 Super Bowls.
They want to be
aren't
the greatest
enough.
of all
They
time,
want to be
doesn't
number
matter.
one.
Right.
So that was not their
Right.
goal to win one Super Bowl. Well,
Yeah.
my goal was to play one game. So obviously I couldn't.
So your
tail
career
off.
fell off after that one game.
So
I knew there was a problem there.
After they activated
Man, you
me,
sucked after that one
3
game.
kickoffs and 1 special teams tackle, I knew it was done. But no, seriously, that was like my goal. So my goal was never to win the Super Bowl. It wasn't to be in the Pro Bowl. It wasn't to have 1,000-yard seasons. I was told my whole life I wouldn't be able to do it. So my goal was like I want to get one game and then flip everyone off. That told me when that happened, I had to try to readjust my goals, and I just got like, okay, just work hard, and then what happens happens. So. Honestly, after one game, I would have been okay.
Damn.
I
You
lasted
had
6
your
to
Mike
7
Jones.
years, and
Yep.
with the work ethic and kind of keeping it going. But when I was done, it was kind of like,
And you were like
Oh,
quick
that was
as
cool. Oh,
shit.
shit.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
that
were.
helps. That
I mean,
helps.
ridiculously quick as shit. Okay.
that helped.
I still feel like Hawkins was like 8 years too soon. Like I feel like we fully accepted the slot receiver now, and I think Andrew, you were amazing. Like I really enjoyed your
appreciate that.
career, but I feel like now that's what we want.
He
Now
didn't-
those guys are going
he
first
did.
round.
You're right. I mean, and he didn't get into an offense that knew how to use the slot. In
Well,
my
that's the
opinion,
fucking
until he
NFL,
got to
Simms.
Kyle.
That was
Like
very true.
Cincinnati did not know how to use the slot the way
Agreed.
Kyle and Cleveland did
All
at
right,
that
Simms, what is our Second Amendment?
time.
Kyle Shanahan is our favorite coach in the NFL.
Yes.
We never get it right, ever.
Yes.
That's all
over
You
it.
guys experienced him in Cleveland.
yes.
We love
What
him.
was the change when he came in? Was it immediate? Where you're like, wow, this is an offense in the NFL. This is crazy.
I think the bigger change is when he left.
Yeah,
To be
right.
honest. I mean, we love Kyle. We love his offense. I mean, I was with Alex Mack yesterday at the EA Sports Party, and he brought it up because it's like the players that play for Cal. It's very weird because a lot of coaches, and it's not anything against it, but there's
No.
coaches who want great offenses, right?
Yeah.
So as an offensive coordinator, I just want my offense to be great and be regarded as such. As players, I want to ball out so I can make as much money as I possibly can,
Right.
And he
make
could get
somebody
the ball in your
overplay.
hand to do that.
It's very rare you have a coach
Right.
whose goals are aligned to where it's, look, I want to be the best offense, and I want everybody to ball, make
Yes.
it easy on you so you get paid.
Right.
And I think Cal has, like I said, one of the only offenses that hit both buckets.
Yeah.
For me, when Kyle got hired, I was really excited because I'd already had like 7 offensive coordinators. And I was thinking, this is great because this is like the only offense I haven't played in yet.
Right.
And I was excited to like check that off my list and be like, all right, I played in the Shanahan offense. So
got
I
it.
got them all.
Check.
Yeah. So, but like Hawk said, like for a smaller offensive lineman like myself to be able to play in that system that runs the wide zone and the play
Tailor-made.
action off of it, it's perfect for what I was built for. Well, actually, when I was coming out and Mike Shanahan was in Denver, they were talking about trading up to grab me.
Right.
And I was really excited about it because Matt Lepsis, who was their left tackle at the time, had just retired. And I was like, oh, man, playing for Mike Shanahan and that system, I'll be able to play 15 years.
Right.
And I'll be hopefully a good player one day.
I'll be able to get 10 Pro Bowls and be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Joe,
Didn't think that
I
played that
mean,
yet, but
you're like part Neanderthal, okay? So
Yeah,
you're
no
not
doubt.
like that small, okay? All right? I just want to know.
He
like,
is smaller than I thought he was going to be.
Well, I know, but it's like
More trim. I
Well,
don't want to
thank
say
you.
small.
But that's where I actually want to ask you. Like, what was there any secrets? Like, how hard do you lift weights, or anything you think of on the field to just maybe steer clear of injuries? Like I've heard Aaron Rodgers say, like, I never plant my feet in the ground. That's how I've saved my knees and things like that.
He's always jumping,
Anything like when there's a run behind you, are you cognizant of like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want this guy to take my legs out as he goes down?
There is definitely an art and a little bit of skill to not getting injured as a
Right.
lineman, because you got to know where the ball's supposed to go, and you got to
Right.
understand and be able to think about your man, but also what's happening on the defense to where the danger is going to come from. Like, for instance, on the backside of a power play, the backside tackle, he's got something called like a hinge or a hard jab and pick, where you step down, you protect the B gap when the guard pulls, make sure the linebacker doesn't come through, and then you got to go back and block the end. Well, a lot of times if the running back takes it in the A gap or backside, those tackles are going to be coming into the back of your legs.
Yes.
So you kind of always got to block your guy with one eye over your shoulder,
Right.
making sure nobody's falling in the back of your legs. And also, like Aaron Rodgers said, you can't just plant your feet in the ground and be like, oh, I got my guy, being oblivious to what's happening around you, because
Right.
that's how you get rolled up and you hurt your knee or your ankle.
Yeah.
But even still, that like the ability to do that.
Well, that means he's a great player. 'Cause
You
he
have
can
to
think
be
about
so
that shit.
because-
He's
well,
so
right, you gotta
comfortable.
think
I'm
about all
out
those
there just
things
like,
out
man,
there.
I hope this guy doesn't jam me into
Right,
the
right,
bleachers.
right.
I'm not thinking of how good do you have to be to block Terrell Suggs and also prevent injury.
Let me see if they're
while
behind me.
watching.
Why I'm block- that's exactly what I was.
That's like a
I know.
different level of player.
I agree. I mean, that's why like when I laugh sometimes because they're like, look at Cam Newton. He's so loose out there. And I'd be like, well, fuck, if I was 6'5", 250 and the biggest fucker on the field, I'd be loose too. You know, it's just, it's part of your greatness. It really is amazing. And I enjoyed watching you, man.
I appreciate it.
I want
man.
to ask you just like your little time in New England. What
Uh-huh.
stood out to you when you went there? Because they're another team that knows how to use the slot. That's why they wanted to get you up there.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about New England is the competitive like spirit in that building.
Yes.
It's on a completely different level. Like, I feel like I was probably 2 or 3 years late to New England.
Right.
Had I been there earlier, there could have been magic, but it was just, to be honest, like I pride myself in the way I work, my work ethic, because I'm not the biggest guy. I'm not going to lie and say I'm the most talented or anything. But if I'm on a field, I try to say, okay, I'm going to be the hardest worker here.
Yeah.
And if that isn't enough, there's nothing I can do about it, right?
Yeah.
So at most teams as a receiver, and Joe would tell you this, like, I try to be above and beyond the rest of the guys. I give everything I have. If we run sprints, I want to win by 10 yards. I want to be out in front.
Right.
So when I got to New England, they would run sprints at the end of every practice.
Yeah,
Not
I
just
say
about
I
this
worked
yesterday.
there, so I say that to people.
on
yeah.
a heel. So heeled like 40s. And it's not like,
Like
young
no science
guys.
to it. It's just like, we're
It's
going to make you tough.
Practice is done over on the heel.
Like,
The entire
there's nothing
team.
but we're going to try to make you tougher.
It's shocking.
It's not 50%.
No.
It's not 75%.
It's Bill
It's
watching.
not 95%.
Right.
They are all-out sprints, probably 5 to 10 of them, and we're usually in those settings. At the end of the practice, I have more than everybody else. I want it more. I'm blowing by everybody. When I say all at the time 10 receivers that are in camp,
Right.
they're like leaning like Usain Bolt to be like, I'm first, and I'm
Right.
like,
Right.
dude, I don't know if I can keep this up. I'm 32. My knees
Man.
are hurting.
I
Like,
know,
I'm starting
man.
to cramp up.
It's psycho up
It's
there.
crazy.
Do you remember
It
the
is.
first
It is.
time that Bill yelled at Tom in front of the whole team?
Day one.
Did it have an impact on you like it's had on everybody else that's been there?
Yes, it definitely did. It definitely did. I mean, if I don't know if I'm strong enough to take that. If I'm Tom Brady, I'm like, okay, I get you want to make an example, but I'm 5 Super Bowls deep.
Yeah.
Yell at the
need
backup.
me
Yeah.
more
Yell
than
at
I need
Garoppolo
you.
now, okay? I'm
Right.
done with that shit.
Man. All right, so here's what we do on the Simms Lefkoe podcast. I want you guys to pub your podcast, but we are going to grade you 1 through 10 on your salesman skills.
I like
so,
it.
Yeah.
So
This is easy.
use each other. If you want to use us, there's definitely bonus points there.
Okay.
Talk to America and tell them why
Kick
they
us
should
off, Joe.
listen to the ThomaHawk podcast.
Well, you should listen to the ThomaHawk podcast because we're the fastest growing podcast in world history. We've been Oscar nominated, Grammy nominated, MTV Music Award nominated.
Yes. We've won 3 ESPYs. We were voted the best all-terrain vehicle by J.D. Power and Associates. We have a A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau. and we are 400,000 subscribers deep in a week, and we're just continuing to break records.
And there's a reason you guys invited us on your show to help promote your podcast and raise
because
and elevate your brand.
Now they're Grammy nominated.
That was going to be a 10, but because of that, you're an asshole. It goes to a 9. What an asshole Joe Thomas is.
I'm giving it a 9 as well. I want to say this genuinely.
Russian judges.
Oh, Simms has given 1 10.
I haven't given any 10s.
No 10.
You gave a 10 to Aaron Donald because you were afraid of him.
Yeah, I'm not even arguing against
I think I gave him a
And we
9.
both gave 10s to Michelle Tafoya because it was like the greatest speech I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh, she had it like prepared. She like
No,
pulled it out
she
of
was
her
actually
pocket.
amazing.
She was just like women of the world unite, and I was like, holy
Yeah, it was like world
blown
meeting,
Standing ovation.
and
It was
it was
actually
amazing.
true.
I'll say
Garth.
this, not even competitive or anything. You guys are genuinely entertaining,
Yeah.
and you
Oh.
genuinely seem to like each other, and
Yes.
I like you already.
Yeah.
Love
And
it.
I don't
There we
know
go.
if you won any of those awards, but I'm fucking worried that I'm going to miss one. They're going.
Now you
what-
know what we're competing for.
what's
You
it
guys
called
are
when you
better
get all of them?
bullshitters than we are. That's
Yeah.
amazing. If you're ever in New York, feel free to ever come on our podcast.
yeah,
We're
please.
there.
We can make it a
We're
tag team.
Yes.
Wait, so you guys are with who? You're under one umbrella,
Uninterrupted was where our podcast lives.
and is
All
that
right,
with
cool.
LeBron?
Well, LeBron owns the company, yes.
So I was going to say
He's our
they
third
are-
host.
These are
Kind of
interns.
rich.
Well, they have
He
the.
Forgot
He's
to
our
add
runner.
that LeBron is our runner
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the show.
I was going to say the Cavaliers have their podcast in
Yes.
Cleveland. So Cleveland has become the epicenter of sports in action podcast.
That's it, man. It's our niche. We're not doing anything else. So.
You're fucked next year because the Oscar's going to us. Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Bring it
Oh,
on.
we already got our one. We're ready to go start tailing off like Andy said.
Subscribe to the podcast. How about this? Subscribe to their podcast, download it, unsubscribe, and then resubscribe
Yes, I
so
like
that their algorithm
Yes.
numbers go through the roof.
Genius.
Andrew Hawkins, Joe Thomas, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks
man.
for having us.
Awesome. What do you think that is like for Patricia? Because for the longest time, Simms was telling us Patricia's the guy.
Yeah.
He coaches the same side with Belichick. It's a
Right.
defensive mind. And now he goes to Detroit and he go, Joe, Patricia, was so good to see you. See you later. Hey, Josh, hang out for 1 second.
Well, I think if the roles were reversed, that Patricia would be in this. It's not personal against
Patricia's
Patricia.
getting Matt Stafford, so I don't
Exactly
feel too
right.
bad for
He's
him.
going to a place.
And Bob Quinn.
Bob Quinn,
With
right.
a new
So he's going to be
contract.
New England way. He's not going to miss a whole lot. Hey, is Matt Patricia going away going, damn, I wonder what secrets Bill's going to tell Josh. And I
Right?
wish he would have told me a few of them.
Right?
Definitely. Certainly. He's definitely going to think that. At the same time, if it was Josh that was going to Detroit and Matt Patricia decided to back out, I think it would have been Matt Patricia in that meeting Tuesday
Yeah.
as well, where they would have gone like, hey, man, we got a plan for you here. We can't see you leave town like this.
Did Josh have a relationship with Ernie Adams at all?
I mean, I feel like everyone's relationship with Ernie's the same. It's just high
Except
and
Bill's.
awkward,
Hey, Ernie.
and yeah.
Do you think there's any chance that Bill was like, now, Ernie, I need you to share stuff with Josh, too?
I don't think I don't think
I
that.
just imagine Ernie like sitting next to the desk being pet and being like on the 4th down in 1942. Like, I just feel like.
Well, that's what I mean, Ernie's red stapler. Like, are you taking my red stapler? I've used my red stapler. Have you seen my red stapler? I
Some
mean, that's
Office
really
Space.
really what he is. You walk in there, and I think I've told you guys before. You walk into Ernie Adams' office. This is why New England doesn't like me, because I keep telling stories like this too. But you walk in there, and he'd literally be like, "Oh, hey Chris, how you doing? Good to see you." Turn the TV off, close his computer. How are you? Yep, great.
And you were like, "What up,
I just
Ern?"
wanted to say hi, Ern. Oh, good to see you too. Great. I'll
Tell your dad I said hi.
Yeah, and then I'll be like, all right, Ernie, I'll see you at practice. Okay, see you at practice. And then it's like back on.
And then if you open the door, he recloses
I mean,
everything.
it's literally like that.
So
He
apparently.
locks his door at night when he leaves. So when he gets there in the morning, he locks it. I mean, he's got to
Good.
fuck it. Yeah. So
Because talkative motherfuckers like you are getting out in the
right, because I'd been in there and been like, what the fuck
What is
he
Ernie
working?
doing in
Let
here
me
all
see
day?
this folder.
slide protection. We don't even teach
These
that here.
motherfuckers got me here at 1 a.m. I'm looking at Ernie's folder.
Did you like Patricia putting the pencil over his ear?
It's him. It's so great. So Patricia, I got to talk to him before the game too at Super
You did?
Bowl. Yeah,
Good.
it was great. He was sitting on the bench, and I went over, and as I was
You were
walk-
just distracting everybody out there.
I was going to make sure both
having
teams
time of
didn't
his
play
life.
defense. Hey, it worked. Neither team did. But I went over, and you know me, the first thing I said to him, I said, man, I'm so glad I just don't have to suck your dick anymore, and you finally got a head coaching job. And he just laughed. I appreciate you, man. That's what he said. And we just had a little talk. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's another great human. That's why it's hard to root against New England at times. As much as we get sick of talking about
Right.
them, I can just tell you from being around these people that they're good people and their work ethic is tireless and never ending. And that's what
They
I
put in
always
the work.
respect. They do. So
He said he was a
Yes.
Star Wars fan.
yeah, he's
Patricia
weird.
did.
He's
Well,
weird.
no, here's why I bring it up.
Right.
If the Patriots were Star Wars, who's Darth Vader? Who's the Emperor? We've always said Belichick's the Emperor, right?
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
But is Tom Brady the Luke to Belichick's Vader, and then the Emperor is actually Kraft?
Well, don't they all have to be on the
Or
same
is the
side?
Emperor Ernie Adams?
I feel like Belichick's like the what is he? The hooded
The
sloth?
Emperor.
Is that what he is?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's that guy.
I think Brady's Anakin
You think he's Anakin
Yeah.
Skywalker?
because he was good and then he turned heel later in his
Yeah.
career. He was young
I was
Tom.
just thinking
Everybody
maybe
loved him.
maybe Ernie's the hood, and Belichick is just Darth Vader that we see. But Ernie's really the guy, like controlling everything.
No, he's not.
Damn.
Belichick's controlling it. Ernie
Yeah.
might be second and might know more about what Bill is thinking than anybody in the building.
That would make McDaniels Princess Leia, and then maybe Patricia's Han
Qui-Gon.
Solo.
I was gonna go Qui-Gon Jinn, but
I don't know.
I don't even know
Anyway.
who that is.
just watch him.
Yeah.
Early
Was he on
episodes.
Survivor?
I'm not
He was
surprised
not
he's
on
a Star
Survivor.
Wars fan, though.
Me?
I'm not. No, Matt
yeah.
Patricia.
Oh, Matt Patricia. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's quirky like that. He definitely
Any
is.
quirky Patricia stories in the lunchroom?
I mean, I don't. Other than walking to practice, I mean, literally, he was like super glued to his fucking office seat. I mean, literally, to where I would be leaving on Friday and be like, I am the only crazy motherfucker still in this building. Because
Psych,
I'm
Patricia.
bitch boy, right? And then I'd walk downstairs and I'd be like, "Would you?" go I would say that. Would you go home?
I bet you they love that.
And yeah, I'd be like, "Get out of here!"
It's a
I was like-
competition.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "You're not gonna figure out anything more about what they do." You know, I'd make fun of him. There's no more answers for third down at 5:00 on Friday, and he'd laugh at me. Oh, I'm almost done. And, and he'd be sitting there and just doing his work.
Yeah.
All year long on this podcast, we have celebrated celebrations, the best celebrations in the NFL. And when we knew that we were going to have a chance to interview Golden Tate, we got very excited because we needed to crown him the official winner of the first annual Simms and Lefkoe Celebration Championship. And here he is, your champion, Golden Tate. And set.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just start right there. It's time for your face to meet Golden Tate. That's right. It is time to celebrate and honor the official first winner of the Simms and Lefkoe Celebration Rankings. Golden Tate, clap it up, Simms.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
All
Please,
year
please,
long.
hold your applause.
Yes.
Hold them,
All
hold them.
year long.
No autographs.
We celebrated the best celebrations in the NFL, and for about 12 weeks in a row, Golden Tate held down the championship with the people's elbow as the best individual celebration. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Would you like to give an acceptance speech?
You know, I got one thing to say.
Yeah.
Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Do you smell what the Rock
is cooking. Yeah. Boom. How big of a Rock fan were you growing up?
I loved him.
Oh,
I loved him.
man.
The way you sold it, I mean, that's what I kept you at number one forever because you hit the elbow and then you actually fell like too hard. I was like, damn, like you got a game to play. Like,
That one
relax.
that definitely hurt. And Boogie Brown, he coached me up on it. That one hurt. I wanted to grab my back so bad, but I couldn't because I knew the cameras were watching.
Oh,
You're
man.
right. That would have ruined the celebration.
Completely.
Yeah,
completely.
Diggs was very supportive. I showed the video to Diggs. He goes, oh, he killed it with that one. Yeah, man.
Trendsetter, you know.
Proud of you, dude.
Thank you.
The
Huge honor.
first thing I would love to ask you. I mean, I'm an ex-quarterback. I don't expect you to know that because I really wasn't worth a damn. But I do like the two quarterbacks you've played with in your career. Talk about just a little bit the talent of Stafford. First of all, who's one of the most underrated quarterbacks of the generation, in my opinion. I mean, the arm is off the wall.
Yep.
Just talk about him and Russell a little bit and kind of what they brought to the table and what it was like playing with them.
We're kind of two totally opposite quarterbacks,
Right.
as you probably can understand that. And but Stafford, his arm is crazy strong. I mean, he can throw, tough balls on his back foot, on his front foot, on one foot.
Yeah.
Probably with his left arm, he can still throw harder than most
Side
quarterbacks.
arm, overhead,
Fingers cut,
backwards.
doesn't matter.
Man, if you saw my fingers right now, I was going to be a hand model, but that's gone, long gone, no chance. Maybe I go back to underwear. But anyway, so Stafford's arm is great. He's learning the offense amazingly. He's understanding defense is a lot better, or a little bit better every year, which
Right.
which helps us out. And he's a leader. We definitely look up to him, and he gives us the best chance to win. And that guy is tough as nails.
Yes.
I've never seen someone go through what he goes through, and his damn finger's about to fall off, and I'm like, how you doing? He's like, I got 9 more. Or his ankle's about to fall off. He's like, I'll be out there Sunday. I'm like, dude,
Damn.
how do you do that at a quarterback? 'Cause usually, over the years, quarterbacks have just been soft, but he is tough.
Agreed.
Very, very tough. And so is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, obviously a different type of guy. He's on the move. Running.
It's different for you as a receiver having to you have to react to Russell. Like the play doesn't always go as designed, right?
It's almost like playing backyard football with Russell
Right.
at times. Once he gets out the pocket, you just get open. Find a way to get open, and you got to respect his speed. He throws the best ball, I think, in the league on the run.
Yeah, right.
His touch on the run is crazy, and I think that's due to his baseball background.
Right.
It's funny, you were talking about throwing it hard. I interviewed Ebron, and he said, I know when Stafford's going to really rip it because his eyes get really wide. And that's when he's coming at you with 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky because all my routes seem to be within 5 yards.
Underneath, yeah.
But, trying to track it over linebackers and dodge linebackers, it's tough. But you got to be a special type of receiver to play with Stafford. Like, if you can catch just okay, you don't come to the Lions. You got to be able to catch.
No broken fingers yet or anything?
Oh, look at these fingers.
They're just
what's that?
This one, first game of the season, dislocated it, and it popped out twice in the game, and still hadn't been the same.
Damn.
Pinky, he broke it at some point.
It's
I didn't know.
sideways.
Yeah, I'm throwing up gang signs without even crossing my fingers. You know what I'm saying? They're ruined. But, hey.
You got the moneymaker, man. It's
what
still
happens.
good.
Yeah, it's what happens when you get catching 90+ balls a year.
Hey,
yeah.
So, you talk about good receiving cores. At the end of the year, we're saying, what are the better receiving cores in the NFL? And we get to you guys, and it's you, and it's Galladay coming up now, and it's
Marvin Jones,
who I think went from. Wow, he really stepped in from the Bengals to the Lions, and then this year this is legit. What do you have a nickname for this crew?
No.
And where do you think you guys stack up to the rest of the league?
I definitely think we're one of the best duo, trios, quads. When you throw Ebron in there, as well. But we're strong. Marvin has gotten better over the last 2 years.
He really has.
He's made jumps I can't even believe. He goes up and makes 50-50 balls.
Yes.
The chance of him catching are like 75% now.
Right.
He catches those 50-50 balls.
And you guys complement each other really well.
Yeah, he gets all the deep stuff and the touchdowns, and I just get the first down.
Hey.
It works well.
It does.
I get my yards, I get my catches. We win games. Everyone's happy, and that's the way it should be. And then you throw Galladay in there when Galladay's healthy and has more knowledge of the offense and NFL football. He's dangerous as well.
Athletic, man.
It's an honor to be around such a great group, and I think the best thing about the group is that we all want to be great. It's not like we're just doing this just because of the paycheck. We want to play for a long time. We want to win championships. It's important to us, and we want to ball.
Yeah, you guys get disrespected sometimes. And honestly, I think your head coach got disrespected, honestly, by getting fired. It was kind of a raw deal. Matt Patricia, I worked in New England after I got done playing, so I can tell you that he's going to be a really good coach. You're going to like being around him. Now, it might be a little different of a culture shock. But, I guess that's what I want to say. Are you excited about the fact that you're going to get a New England guy in the building? I know it's not official yet, but it is official.
Yeah. As a year 9 guy, it kind of makes you nervous. It makes you nervous because you don't know what practice is about to be like.
Right.
If it's going to be way, way harder.
Right.
Or, even if you're going to fit the new system or whatever it may be. Hopefully I fit in just fine. I'm going to do my best too. But
they're keeping Jim Bob, right?
Well, right now he's still.
Right now,
the NFL.
They're gonna. This is what New England does. They're gonna cheat you in practice. Okay, just so you know, this is what they do. They'll go. You'll look at the practice script and go, "Oh, it's only 14 periods," but they're gonna ask you to be out there like an hour early, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, we had like 8 individual drills that they didn't even put on practice, and we went through like 3 walkthroughs, and so it's like mental games. You're like, practice isn't that hard, and then you get out there and you're like, damn, we've been out here for 3.5 hours.
But now, if you look at the Patriots.
Yes, it's
they
paying
play
off.
Fundamental sound football.
Yes.
They're not making many mistakes, and that's why they consistently win.
Right.
Like, I don't even think the Patriots have the best talent year
Of course
in, year out.
not.
They do stuff right. They
Right.
do the right thing. They hold on to the ball. They're efficient on third down.
Right.
They have Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, which is a huge reason why as well. But they don't turn over. They move the ball. They're solid on defense. That's why they win. And so, as a year 9 guy, I'm running out of time, guys, okay?
Yeah.
I got about 5-6 years, hopefully, in me. and then I'm hanging them up, and I'm coming to work with you all.
I'm
Okay,
excited.
cool. We
We're
gotta
totally
get
excited.
it done. Okay,
But
come on.
I can see you're excited. Like in your head, you're like, damn, that's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be tough. But you're also going, yes, it's going to be worth it.
Look.
The outline is there.
Look, if you look at my shoulders when I have my ring, my Super Bowl ring on, it's like this because the Super Bowl ring is pulling on it so much. So I need one to even it out. You know what I'm saying? I need
love
two at least.
I love it.
You greedy
I
bastard.
walk
you.
around and say, kiss the ring, kiss the ring.
Just throwing it in people's faces.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do. Obviously, you're here with Hershey's. Here at Simms and Lefkoe, we're not going to help you do the pitch. You seem like a good salesman. You got the swag to you. Deliver your sales pitch, and we're going to judge you as a salesperson from 1 to 10.
All right.
I mean,
Like-
you're already getting bumped up because you're wearing the jersey, but deliver to the people of
And he
America.
matched the watch too. That's what's even funnier.
And he has the Jordans to match all of it.
Damn.
And the chain.
Hold on.
Yeah, show the
let-
kicks.
Let me give y'all a good look over here, okay? Just so you know. Bam.
Damn.
These
Yeah.
are new.
Oh, yeah.
And they're beautiful.
I like it.
Thank you.
All right, so here we go.
All right. Golden Tate here with Detroit Lions. Anyway, Golden Tate here with the gold bar. I think it's very, very fitting. My name is Golden, so it works out. But what I have here is a gold bar. Hershey's been around for about 100 years, and this is only the 4th flavor that they have, so they're doing something right. I love s'mores, and I love the cookies and cream one. But anyway, this is my new favorite. So right now, with the Winter Olympics coming up, we have a great little deal here. Every time America wins gold, be on the lookout. Hershey's going to put out a promotional code that's going to allow you to get a free full-size gold bar. Not the
Damn.
ones that you get a trick and treat, the little minis, a full-size, all to yourself. So every time we win gold, which I plan on America dominating and getting a bunch
Yeah,
of
they're gonna
gold,
be giving out some.
be looking out for a different promotional code every single time, and you're going to have opportunity to get hopefully about 10 to 15 free gold bars. And if not, if you don't, just go to the store. Probably like $1 or something.
All right, here's mine.
What are you going?
I'm going a Niner.
Okay.
I mean,
What's your reasoning?
The delivery was good. You know, could have used a little more pizzazz, but I'm not giving him a 10. And the fact that he's matched his clothes so well, and he's gold and golden, Hershey's gold, so
Yeah.
he gets a 9. 9.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go 8.
Okay.
Still good, still great. He didn't name himself Golden Tate, no offense. So I can't give him credit for the name. The clothes are great. I love that he held it up. I love that he
Tied
did
in the
that.
Olympics.
Yes. And you won me over at the USA stuff. I'm going to say this now, though. You're not going to be selling stuff because I do feel like you're going to be working in this business. Do you want to be in media when you're done?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What would be like a dream job? Like whose job do you look at
something
right
fun.
now?
I don't want
Research
I don't
guy
want
for
anything
Simms and
uptight.
Lefkoe podcast.
Yeah, I want to do something fun. Like
Because you have, I'm sure you hear this a lot. You have a fantastic personality for a football player. You have a fantastic personality, period. And you get it. And what a thing I liked is when you were breaking down the Patriots just now, you love football, but you also have that 30,000 feet kind of look at it.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you, man.
Oh, thank you. My biggest thing is that all my friends and all my peers say I have a face for radio. So
Oh,
Now, you're a little
and a
better than
voice
that.
for print. If you want, you could be an official Simms and Lefkoe correspondent. And throughout the year, we can get you more media training, have you talk about a bunch of shit. You could help us grade celebration rankings next season
Yeah.
if you're interested.
We could make you
because
the
you're the
main guy.
first champion.
Right.
We're gonna have to come up with an award. We weren't
Special
prepared.
place in our heart.
If you're in, are you in?
let's go. I'm in.
Verbal
I'm in.
dotted line.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm always in.
All right, cool. You
Gold-
always open door anytime you want. Seriously.
Golden
Let's
Tate,
go.
I mean, he's constantly catching 90 catches. If he's not on your fantasy team, you're missing out because those points are delicious. Just like a
dub.
Hershey's Gold. Oh. Golden Tate, the man. I actually just remembered, I saw Golden Tate at a party that night. And Odell's there and AJ Green's there, and I see Golden Tate. He comes up to me. I go, man, you gonna get down there? And he goes, can I be honest? I just had a child, and like all this seems like really dumb right now. I was like, I bet you it feels really fucking stupid.
It's what
He's like, I
happens.
got like a 3-week-old kid, and I'm looking around at everybody drinking, and I'm like, I just kind of want to go
It's
home.
what happens. It's
Yeah.
weird. I mean, who knows where I would have gone if I didn't have a first child.
Oh man.
That's why me
I
and
know.
Lefkoe are still going strong
I'd
out
have
there.
been
No kids yet.
divorced with STDs and
Yep.
be an alcoholic
Yep.
druggie. I
All
might
right.
have been, right.
Lefkoe iTunes comments. Should we get to them?
All right, so I'm gonna
Oh, wait.
space
Oh,
up-
real quick about the Golden
Yeah.
Tate,
Yeah,
the
real
Hershey
quick.
pretzel, chocolate pretzel thing.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife, she's so fucking clueless, okay? She sees a commercial for the Hershey chocolate pretzel. She's
Hershey?
like, Hershey chocolate pretzel, whatever. And she goes,
Didn't you give that to that player for like the award for best celebration? And I was like,
Yeah, I
no,
did.
he was publicizing that, and we were being silly. Oh, Danielle is the best.
When's she coming on the podcast? We still haven't done that, right?
That would be great.
Off season.
Yeah,
Pencil it
soon.
in.
Okay.
Maybe
We have a lot.
tomorrow.
We still have to give you a disc
Episode
assessment to see what your
169.
personality is. All right, so I'm going to space out all of the iTunes comments from the last 2 weeks over the next few shows. We'll start off first with Eric Aiello from the Bay Niner Nation. Have to give it up to the true original White Boys Supremes. You guys are the ultimate podcast out there. Haven't missed an episode. Need your unbiased opinion. You're starting your own franchise. You have to pick between the two options. Who you'd rather have as your coach quarterback for your team. Goff and McVay or Garoppolo and Shanahan?
Well, that's, my answer to that. First of all, I think Garoppolo is more talented than Jared Goff. That's just my honest assessment. I thought that even if you just compared them as prospects
Honest
coming
right
out.
now, Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan?
It's extremely close. I'm going to go with Kyle Shanahan. As much as I think of McVay, and I've said, does McVay, his advantage, I think, is he has maybe a little bit more of a drop-back pass offense, but I still don't think he's as good as a full game designer as Kyle Shanahan.
So you're going to go Kyle and Jimmy.
I'm going to go Kyle and Jimmy. I think that's a match made in heaven.
Jimmy is at that point where he's undefeated as a starter. He hasn't shown any bad film really at all.
Right.
And so you could compare him to Aaron Rodgers right now, and I'm going to pause. I know he's not. I know he's not, but it's like, well, what has Jimmy done bad? And I'm like, shit, sit for too long? I don't know.
Right. No, the contract is justified, in my opinion.
We are going to get to the contract on Wednesday's episode. It's going to come out Thursday, episode
Okay.
153, full Simms Garoppolo contract breakdown. This guy, I don't know what my username is, so they just call me Emps.
Emps?
Pioneers. I've learned so much from listening to both of you. I think you guys are the pioneers of sports podcast.
Wow.
Where is all the Simms and Lefkoe merch? I can't be the only one who wants to buy a BR North Face. Someone's working at Bleacher Report tonight that happened. Believe me, Simms and Lefkoe merch is happening. I kind of want to do like...
Look at him.
He's so
I mean, that's just not going to make the final cut of the show.
No?
I want a shirt that says beans not beef. I want a shirt that just has a 12, but instead of Rogers, it says goat. Okay, last one. This one is from Joe. Best cut podcast ever. I would say y'all need your own show being on TV. Simms hits you with the truth the way he sees it in the LEFKOE. Man, always has interesting and sometimes outrageous
Tears in my eyes.
takes.
I'm laughing so hard.
Serious question. What teams are 1 to 3 years away from hitting a Super Bowl window, and what do they need to do to get them there? In parentheses, as a Dolphins fan, I hope you say them. Let's say, are the Dolphins 1 to 3 years away from a Super Bowl?
I don't think the Dolphins are... I think they're in that conversation. Yes, I think they're going in that right direction. They've built their team their proper way. Gase, I still am a believer in Tannehill. Of course, this will be a huge year for him. But, gotten some offensive linemen. The defensive line, we talked about it all year, has depth.
Yeah.
They are better at the linebacker position. They need players on the back end on the defensive secondary, which they've gotten a little, like Xavier Howard. That was a huge jump for them. But their safeties, they need upgrades there.
Anybody could win the Super Bowl in 1 to 3 years. The Eagles just showed that.
That's the point of it.
The Eagles have
This
not
day
been
and
a
age.
dynasty
Right.
building up. They were not good last year.
And I'll be really interested to see. I wrote an article last week about the 10 most intriguing free agents to me, and Jarvis Landry is certainly one of
Definitely
them.
up there.
Because he led the NFL in receiving, great, but he also wasn't in the top 100 in yards per catch. He is a system guy, and I'm interested to see where it goes because I don't think the Dolphins are going to pay huge money to get him. I wouldn't, because I do think he's a slot guy that needs help. He's not like A.J. Green, Antonio Brown, Odell, where you go line up outside and beat the number one corner in football all day. No, that's not what he does. But they're not far. Bye.
Simms, Lefkoe, and Josh, how many of you would it take to stop the Eagles' top 4 defensive linemen for 5 seconds? Can use any number of the 3 of you.
Gosh, well...
So I'm useless. I mean, how many
do you want? Joshes to stop 4 Eagles
How many
defensive linemen?
Joshes just to stop 1 Fletcher Cox?
Okay, how many?
I mean, it's
6?
definitely 5 over 5.
I was
right?
going to say 6.
Yeah, I would say 6. And 6 might not even be fair.
I don't know, because I think Fletcher could knock out 4.
I mean, he's going to have to, like grab his balls
because
or
it's
something.
5 seconds. It's going to be initial contact, sustained push. Oh, man. 12?
No, probably 6 to 7.
How many of you?
Gosh, 4 or 5. I just
You think that for Chris Sims, you
Is
would need
equal to
4 of
7
you
Josh
to fight
Fendricks?
1 Fletcher Cox?
gosh, if you need, yes, I
Yes.
do.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
I think you need 6 Chris
I think you're underestimating
How big he is?
and the power.
I'm going to go
output.
12
actually-
Fendricks, 6 Simses, 1 Lefkoe.
I was going to.
can hit me.
I meant to bring this up right after the Super Bowl, but if you guys, and I don't know if you watched the coin toss over
Right.
again when you rewatched the game, Fletcher was right up just off the camera on the coin toss. His bicep took up half the TV screen.
See, this
It
is
was
where
unreal.
people can't, like, they just go, oh, well, he's 325 pounds, and Sims, you're 230, so you could.
You're 90 pounds off.
Yeah, but, like, what they don't understand is this. First of all, in the public, we're too obsessed with size, right? Like, in the NFL locker room, some of the strongest guys are 5'11", 210 pounds. And you
Aaron
go, holy
Donald.
shit, right. You go, holy shit, he can bench 450 pounds and squat 600 pounds, and he's a fraction of the size of me. What happens when you see freaks of nature, respectively, like Fletcher Cox, where you really get ruined is like when he warms up with the bench press, and you just go, man, he's warming up with 250, like he's not, or 225, and he's acting like it's the bar, and just going like, oh, okay, that feels good. All right, let me take a few seconds and throw in another plate. I mean, that's where you just go, okay,
It's nothing.
You can't even comprehend the power output.
It's unreal.
Right.
Coming up, Wednesday's show, it's going to be episode 153. We are going to have some absolute studs. Patrick Peterson, Marcus Mariota, and Christian McCaffrey. Then on Friday, that's right, we're doing a triple one this week. It's going to be the 6 Degrees of Sims. Jim Kelly, Devontae Freeman, and then Tim Brown and his wife Sharice coming in. And then next Monday, we're giving you guys a Hall of Fame running backs edition. Great conversations, packing them in. We're going to wrap up here for Sims,
Peace out, homies.
Fendrick,
Good night, everybody.
and the LEFKOE.
Transition man, Lefkoe.
Transition man.
Transition
says
king.
goodnight.
Transition
King. Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
We'll holler at you guys soon. Love you so much. Talk soon.